Okay. First and foremost, I want to say thank you, God. This is how my videos are going to start off. And I need to be thankful because I know what life could have been if the circumstances were different. And if I had the option to partake in what these people are involved in. Let me just start from the beginning because there's something that needs to be always repeated. Because that reality is going to be trying to be changed. But it was just a matter of time I find out about it because there's so much testimonial stuff validates reality that is actually reality. I'm, like so many others, I'm a target individual. Being a target individual means that you are no longer living life. Your life is completely being destroyed. Because you are now a test subject for governmental entities. They use human beings, men, women, and children, to develop technology that is used as weapon. They are manipulating the body, the mind, and do horrible things. This is pure evil, the things they do. And let me just say that this program is coming from the government. The participant that you see in this, you see a lot of civilians involved in this. They are contracted. They implement these tactics. They implement these tactics, and the tactics they implement are disgusting, but it's so easy to do what they do. I always like to bring up how these perps look like when they, in their state of action or where they're working. First of all, I just want to say thank you, because for me, I couldn't live life like them if perhaps the option was given to me, but thankfully this option was not even available. This is the simplisticness of how these perps can be when doing these horrible things to you. Obviously, these perps are just contracted to implement these things. This technology, the sophistication that you're going to hear, obviously come from the Department of Defense. The facade that you're going to be presented can be comical, especially when you figure out reality. But first, it takes you a while. It takes you a while to understand what's happening. It takes you a while to what the hell? No, what? Because it just so it's unbelievable. Like you don't comprehend what's happening. It's not. It's surreal. Then you start putting things together, and then the day comes when you discover what this is about. You start finding out about targeted individual. What is that? That changed the whole perception. You start seeing these clowns for the clowns that they are. And I found out about it in the summer of 2020. But I was a target individual way before that. But the synthetic telepathy, V2K, started on the 19th of August 2019. On that day, that's when things just exploded. My brain just started saying, I started hearing the V2K. Before that, I was just getting gang stalked a lot, but everything was kind of on that day, things completely changed. It was crazy. And you know what happened? They started saying now we're this bad government, and they're trying to say, oh, it's our justice. And they start trying to vilify me, right? Listen, I'm not perfect. I know my imperfections. But I'm not perfect. I will never stand to be perfect. But they look for what they can use to vilify you, and a lot of that is also fabricated. But what was not fabricated, with regard how they wanted to vilify me, and I bring that up, make me think of a woman called Brittany, and another woman whose name is Courtney. They tried to vilify me first, talking about what I did when I was a kid in middle school. At first I was like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I remember just doing oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And then I realized, how old was I? In middle school. I was then of course, You understand? That's a child in middle school. That's what a delinquent, like not even a delinquent. That's like an impulsive kid doing something stupid. So you put that. I was like, okay. Listen, the mind of a child, obviously, that's what can happen as a child. Your brain is just like. So as soon as I just realized the age of my age at the time of what I did as a child, I was like, oh my gosh, I was what? I was that young. In my mind, because when they were bringing that up, my brain couldn't put together that I was that much of a young individual. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just a kid. I was like an actual kid. It's not even like high school. Like we're talking about middle school. So that just like I'm like, oh my god, this is what an impulsive kid can do. That's a child. That's a child being impulsive and just a child doesn't understanding what they like. Of course, that's not gonna make me feel vilified. I'm not gonna feel guilty in the sense that I'm gonna be like, what was I thinking? But I was like, I was a kid, a stupid kid who did some dumb thing, impulsive thing that never happened again. That's why I never thought about it ever again. But what they tried to really vilify me about, where now I'm an adult, is me with Brittany, which is this woman that we had this thing going on at a party, and they tried to say, no, that you're wrong for that. I was like, well, but like, listen, this is, I remember it's like, yeah, I'm not proud of this moment of me and that moment with me and her and whatever, but she's living life, she's okay. I talked to her, everything, it's like they would try to like look for whatever I did wrong. I was like, oh, but what about Courtney? And then Courtney was like more of like putting things in the different concepts, right? It's like, well, were you wrong when you did this and that and that's like that? And then I was like, oh, if that's wrong, damn, man, I did, and I started feeling guilty. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? It's like I've been harming these women. Like this started trying to make me think like I'm this like done this thing to, and I'm like, but then slowly I'm starting realizing, but where are those women? I started looking for them. It's like, no, but I mean, they're not. Nobody's dead. Let's go. Where are they? What? Where are they? It's like, no, for Brittany, for Courtney. It's like, but where are they? They're not dead. I started literally trying to find where I can find them, because I'm like, who are these people talking for them? Who are those people talking? Try to find anything, and then they were trying to, oh, but the nightclub, remember when you did, like, oh, just stupidity, like, come on. But they try to find whatever. I'm like, who is these people? Try to play this way. Who are they? Where are those women? Like, then the discovery, finding out what this is about. My goodness. And even before that, I was like, these people, something is super off with these people. First of all, my thought process is being manipulated in these disgusting ways. Nobody who's avenging or protective, or anybody who's doing good, could make somebody think in these disgusting ways, because I know those thoughts are not mine. I'm being manipulated to think in these disgusting ways. I almost killed myself. Because I'm like, I'd rather die than being whatever they want me to be, because I know they're conditioning my brain this way. They're twisting my brain. They're manipulating my brain in certain ways. Nobody who is avenging, protector of anybody, especially children and women, will have somebody think this way. So I started figuring out these people are foul human beings. They're disgusting people. They're not. This is something is going on here. I started writing letters to media outlets saying this is happening. They're doing these things. They have this technology that can manipulate this and that. I'm starting. This is not my thoughts. They're bombarding me with my mind. And I'm like, I know it sounds crazy, but my thoughts are being manipulated. I'm being forced to think in these ways and react this ways. This is not how I would experience something's happening. At that point, I was thinking, these people are just, they're not, something is just like, there's something really, like they are fault, they're, this is disgusting things they're doing. They don't care about this Brittany or Courtney. They're just using them to present this facade. I start figuring that out before I start hearing about the testimonials. Then the discovery of what this is about opened my eyes, and at that point, Jesus, I couldn't even believe it. My mind didn't even want to capture this reality. I couldn't accept that this level of evilness was even applied to women and children. I couldn't even imagine that like mass shootings, people who caused mass shootings were driven by this trash doing these things to me. I couldn't believe this. It was such a shock to understand that these people talking about Courtney and Brittany do these things to women, or involved in a program that does these things to women. There's some of the testimonials, I didn't want to accept them to be true because I couldn't imagine this level of evilness. But they started describing things so specific to why I went through. I was like, oh my gosh. This is the people talking to me. This is what they are vilifying me. They talk about Brittany and Courtney when they are here doing these atrocities to women. I was like, I would never let this trash ever speak about these women. Never. What if it was Courtney talking about this thing? What if it was Brittany? I start hearing things like that.
Worked for the Defense Department. She worked on the global mapping of that system. And when I told her what I was going through, all she could say was, "You're on your own." Well, I figured that out. If you would please, I urge you to pass this. I realize you can't enforce it, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Do you know what she was saying that was happening to her? This.
You feel that you've been injustice?
You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, "How do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that?" I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, "You're mentally sound as a bell." He said, "I don't have any idea what's going on with you." When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum. I get electric shock of my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both my hands. I vibrate. I can barely...
Testimonials of horrible things. Some of it, I knew it was the same thing I was going through because they were describing some of the things. This woman's testimonial, Mariana's. I'm so thankful that Mariana made her testimonial because it was clear to me and it was insane. I was like, these people say the same things that I'm going through. The same thing is surreal. That's when I found out about the word target individual. And I'm like, this is the trash talking about Brittany? Talking about Courtney? This is the horrible things they do to women. But they're like, no, but because, you know the facade they're showing to me? It's like, no, we're women. Pay for Courtney. What? You know the name of women that they're frying? This is just a new target individual. A new target individual. Somebody I just discovered. She's not new. But she
been doing some research, I guess what it's called, organized stalking. I'm called a targeted individual. But the abuse last night was pretty extreme. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. I don't really know if a very real reality in a lot of capacities of the things that I faced. Today just kind of pretty general fear about my own safety. Because the government's burning the private parts of my body.
This is not uncommon. Women from all around the world saying the same things. Listen to the same woman. This thing was such an official issue. The bioethic that was in 2011, the first one, the bioethic committee had this first one, a bunch of target individual in 2011 came up. The same woman you just heard talks about how she, listen to her testimonial there. Lisa Baker.
Medical research. I too believe my experience is referred to as no-touch torture, utilizing defense technologies. Jonathan Reno, he basically predicted all this a number of years ago in his book Undue Risk. I'm asking you to help initiate a congressional investigation. We've all come a long way. This is what is needed. We want to have the accounts of this extreme human rights abuse that's going on in our country documented and heard, all of the accounts. We also need what was done during the Clinton administration, which is a major declassification of some of these documents that are hiding what's been going on. I speak for many when I say we've suffered long enough. My personal experience has been 10 years. I've been vilified. I've been ostracized. I've been tortured. I have burns on my body. I'm an American. I have rights. The answer to
they vilify even these poor women. These defenseless women. People who do these horrible things or involved in it, they try to normalize what they're part of as if like it's just normal. But think about Courtney and Brittany. You would destroy them. You would destroy them. You know what? I was able to find Brittany. Oh. You know how frustrated they were? One of the perps she left the place I was living in. She went to the rooftop. Because what? Brittany is living her best life. You can hear this perps right now trying to counter that. I'm talking, hey, Brittany, how's everything with you? I'm living my best life with my family. Well, this trash work in the program where they destroy women like that. And they like to say, it's war. It's the war. Trash, they're opportunists. You see how they dress in war? In pajamas? The war is to block reality. We are just test subjects. The government is developing this technology that destroys us. This is the kind of horrible things they do to women. And I know this woman, it took me a while to accept what she was saying. The disturbing torture that she went through, I just didn't want to accept that they would do these things like that. That this is that level of evilness. Not because I don't imagine them doing that to me, but I'm just couldn't imagine doing that to a woman like that. Like, how you, what? Then she starts saying things that it's just so exactly surreal, just exactly what I'm going through. I was like, okay, there's no way. Is it really? Women like that? Listen to what she says. This woman is one of the strongest human beings I've seen. And I'm saying in the sense of, how can you endure all of that and maintain? It's... Listen to her.
Highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body, and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly.
Can you imagine what you just heard? This is what they involved in. You have testimonials of this sort coming in all shape and form. Listen, I ended up. Listen to this.
Hello everyone. My name is Leslie Crawford. I'm here from the state of Michigan. I wanted to speak about biotechnology applications being utilized on my person. I have medical reports showing eye damage being done to.
Who of you know about psychotronic weapons? No? Okay, in this audience, is anybody familiar with a psychotronic weapon? Okay, the audience is familiar with that, and I think that in order for a panel or a commission to be able to help this problem and this issue, we'll have to have more knowledge on what psychotronic weapons are. I am physically linked and leashed from my neck to the electromagnetic power of one of the weapons that is being used against me. I get tortured day and night. At night it's with nightmares and all kinds of dreams that I don't want in my head. And throughout the day it's my body.
It goes on. I can bring some more. Let me just make sure that you hear this woman.
Mrs. Marshall?
Good afternoon. My name is Connie Marshall. I'm a former mayoral candidate from Louisville, Kentucky. I have never been involved in any criminal activity. I found a document in my bank account that said, problem with Kentucky government, check federal government paperwork and file before releasing information to anyone. I am an 8-year victim survivor of assaults by directed energy weapons. The torture I've experienced consists of body overheating, body extremely cold, seizures, heart pain, earaches, itching behind eyes, burning behind eyes, swelling, headaches, involuntary movement of my limbs, exhaustion, speeding and heart racing, hair coming out by the handfuls as if I've had chemotherapy, mind paralysis, being hypnotized or placed in a trance-type state, being tracked by a drone or satellite, controlled dreams, sleep deprivation, V2K, which is voice to skull, projected sound, extreme muscle spasms, and extreme muscle cramps, being made to fall down, blue circles around the pupils of my eyes, and I'm here and you can look at them if you like. Low frequency noises in my home, high frequency noises in my home, sexual stimulation, numerous electrical appliances in my home are destroyed.
More. Just testimonials of.
Ms. Catherine Nestor.
My name is Catherine Nestor and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MKUltra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that.
This is the things. And there's so much more of the horrible sexual torture and what they do, that when I figured that out, I was like, okay, this is what it's about. This is what's really about. This is about this.
My name is Dr. John Hall. I'm a medical doctor from Texas. As I understand the memorandum from the president, It's for you to determine if current legislation is adequate in protecting individuals and if there's any ongoing experimentation. In reviewing the common rule, it's very obvious that there's a lot of loopholes to informed consent. All of the horrific experiments you've mentioned, Willowbrook, MK Ultra, radiation experiments, mostly were done without informed consent. They were funded by the DoD and intelligence agencies, where I'm not even so sure you would know if there's an IRB, much less if an IRB is looking at informed consent. As a physician, relative to some of what you're hearing today, in the community, we are seeing an alarming rate of complaints of use of electromagnetic weapons. Microwave auditory effects, silent sound spectrum, EEG cloning, which has taken the lab out of the laboratory and into the home. Most of these, from the research that we reviewed, can be done remotely. It seems to be more weapons research than medical research. I personally corresponded with upwards of 1,500 victims, all complaining of identical complaints from every state in the nation of being exposed to electromagnetic radiation, non-ionizing radiation for the use of cognitive control or behavior control. I submitted a paper to you, and there's another paper submitted to each member from another physician in Kansas City, alluding to the same.
I mean, then even before that, I started finding some stuff. Even not only the torture, but some of the target individuals, which is the term that I understand, you know, people in this community being tortured in these ways, being used as test subjects, call each other, ended up causing mass shooting. Finding out that
why
this
was
is
a
a target
unstable individual. This shotgun is the primary murder weapon. On it, he etched a number of carvings, including "End to the Torment," "Better Off This Way," and "My ELF Weapon." Alexis had been hearing voices and believed he was being bombarded by microwaves, something naval authorities knew about.
There are multiple indicators that Alexis held a delusional belief that he was being controlled or influenced by extremely low frequency, or ELF, electromagnetic waves.
And in his computer files, the FBI found this.
A document retrieved from the electronic media stated, quote, "Ultra low frequency attack is what I've been subject to for the last 3 months. And to be perfectly honest, that is what has driven me to this."
And so on what should have been a routine day, Alexis killed 12 people. Mothers, fathers, sons, daughters. Diane, they never had a chance. And
this is the things they try to normalize. All this manipulation, all these things that the men say that, you know, they're all saying the same thing. This manipulation of the mind and thought process that made me have an idea. These people are not here protecting or avenging anybody. Look at what they're doing to my brain. Who makes somebody think in this way? But then get the validation that, oh, these people are here actually doing horrible things to women. They were trying to use Courtney or Brittany to make themselves appear like they're good people, or avenging, or so. Trust, I pray for Brittany and Courtney to never be put in this program where they be destroyed. You know, I feel stupid today when as they try to vilify me and try to bring her up, well, what was with Courtney, and I was like, oh my gosh, was that wrong? And then feeling guilty. I was like, oh man, people who were trying to make me feel guilty are involved in these horrible things they do to women, when they burn their genitals, destroy their life. So I'm like, oh my gosh, how stupid do I look now? And I was like, well, where's Courtney? I tried to find this woman. They brought a black woman, give her a wig, a blonde wig, because Courtney is white, and tried to make her look like, during COVID, to try to make it look like we're doing it for Courtney. During peak COVID in New York City, when people were dying like 500 a day, they brought a black woman who is light-skinned, gave her a weave that's blonde, to make me think that this person is Courtney, and the woman was just putting her hair covering up. I'm like, this is Courtney. To paint this facade, I was like, you guys are a bunch of trash. And today they're like, oh, now this is our justice. This is a loophole for us to get justice. Trash, you loophole. You got involved in you discussing trash. Even my current employer, who obviously partake for the incentives, there's some of this perp. So, oh, you never done anything to just try to make me feel like what's happening to me is because what you've done. What? Yes, you're right. You know what I've done? I've involved myself in a program where destruction of women and children is happening, where women are being tortured in ways that so hard, like this. By the way, let me just say this. Where this is happening to women.
All of that today, this morning, not even noon yet here, and already I'm experiencing pain and harm to my body, to the private parts of my body. It's just hard to feel hopeful, like you just wake up and get out of bed and not know like what a day will bring, and just trying to maintain some level of hope, and just in the midst of such heinous abuse. Just
do you understand? Can you imagine being involved in this? Associate yourself in a program that does this to women, then try to come up with this fantasy. But when we do it, we're different. We're some feminists. Never. Listen to me now. TI Day 2020. I'm like, okay, I gotta speak. I gotta partake. I gotta do whatever I can to do my part to make sure that I participate.
And I'm a victim of
the awareness of what's happening, because this is disgusting. It's atrocities. It's not about me anymore. It's way beyond me. So I joined this. I partake in this. Listen to who else is involved.
And I'm a victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, V2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture, and I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic harassment. And I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the US, in Illinois, and I'm a victim of organized
We need this to stop.
electronic harassment, microwave torture.
I've been targeted for 9 years.
24/7.
We've become more aware of this crime and those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen, and the targeting continues in New Zealand. I'm making this video in remembrance of Targeted Individual Day, our third annual Targeted Individual Day. And I'm asking that every honest-hearted human being open their eyes to a crime.
My name is Jeanette. I am 56 years old and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a victim of covert electronic harassment and torture. I am a targeted individual.
Why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. It's brutally painful. I have a house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, first floor, second floor, 2 garage, backyard, land, everything. Can't live in my house. My neighbors are shooting direct energy weapons through my house. I hold my heart like this. You know why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. Come get me. Oh Lord, because I think I'm dying.
You know how this... Today they're like, no, but remember how you, it's like, yes, when I didn't know what you guys are, what you guys were doing, what you're truly about, that you're utilizing Courtney and Brittany to try to make me believe that you guys are some kind of avenging protectors, painting the stories that you wanted in this fashion, and me being this dumb, not knowing reality of what you guys do and what this is about, and why you bring that up and try to present like you're doing it for them. You know, you don't understand what this is about. You don't understand that this is real. People are being used as test subjects, and they have this facade. They've been exposed so bad in regard to what this. You know, when I see these perps, I'm like, what do you think I should look at as you? Like, do you think I'm going to look at knowing that these women are being tortured? You know what they say sometimes? It's like, we free them. It's like, well, after 20 years, they're going to be free? Trash. We support them. No, you don't. You support the program that tortured them. You don't even support. You partake. Because they're not even needed to be supporting anything. They're just nothings. You're just opportunists. You're involved in a program where you know they torture women, and some of these people talking to me, playing this feminist and have participated in the torture of women. Because they're able to distance themselves from what they're part of, and they think, okay, this is just for work. But in my real life, I'm like this trash. You know, the deflection tactics they use to escape or wanting me to be disoriented. It's like, oh, you're gonna die. You're dying. Oh, they're gonna rape you so bad. That's like, all of that's true. But you know what you do? You torture, you're involved in a program that torture women and children, and then you play this femme fatale. I'd rather be raped every day of my life than be involved in this. This is disgusting. I was over here thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so... When these people talking to me involved in this. And today they're like, oh, you didn't do nothing. What you doing? Do what? No, you're right. A guy involved in a program led by these governmental entities that is torturing women, destroying their life, raping them, pushing them to suicide, causing people to cause mass shootings, torturing children, burning genitals, and living my life to counter the reality of what I'm part of. That's what I did. Disgusting trash. There's no you cannot, when they sign up for this, they have to see themselves for what they are. And I'm never going to let them live their fantasy. And they still try to be fierce. Listen, later on, I'm finding more things about, like, obviously, more information and more validations. There's a lot of females involved in the torturing of...
But I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, she was shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Oh, he shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is, with the voices go, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back?
You understand? And for me, when these women say, there's a lot of females, they're like, this is not the type of female we are. They start presenting this, and I'm gonna say that, not to be racist, because there's nothing, I'm not somebody who care about the race of anybody, but there is this thing where I've noticed, they think, look at us, we're female, but we're this type of female. We're educated, liberal, progressive, mostly white female, or very progressive, educated female women. And so we wouldn't do that. Some of us are even mothers, good mothers. Look at us. To counter the reality of so what kind of... You understand the disgusting perception they try to create? It's like a trash. I mean, it gets so bad that even when somebody goes into like on a podcast talking about target individuals, because some have been able to get to a podcast with a platform that can address multiple people. This is what I say about target individual.
If you talk to the victims, the TIs, one of the worst breakdowns, and it's pretty common. I think I can say the word simulated rape in forced orgasm.
You can say anything you want. This is the internet.
And so simulated orgasms and rape is
Right.
extremely common, and
Right.
especially violating for women. They complain about that torture breakdown the most.
They try to rewire one part when they say rape is, but because he has a bit of an accent, he say rape is. He say, oh, rapers like you, rape, to block the fact that rape is such a commonly utilized breakdown tactic. That a lot of women are saying that is happening to them. You heard the testimony of this woman with the target in the private part. It's not only men, they do that too. Children too. And they have the same facade. It's not some. They have the same tactic of creating a facade to try to make it look like it's not these governmental entities doing it.
And information couriers, people that will carry the V2K. So they'll say, we're the Russian government, we're the Chinese government, we're evil aliens, we're Satan's, satanic ritual abuse. And I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this.
You understand? Same stuff. Try to create this facade. They've been using whatever they can to vilify you. Me, initially, not knowing who's talking to me, not knowing that they have this agenda to create this thing. And they have these tactics. There's a protocol. And not a protocol. They're using me as a test subject. They like to create an up and down and up and down and up and down. So when they were trying to vilify me, they were like, oh, but this happened, but by the end of this, you had breakfast with her. They were trying to have this back and forth dialogues in my brain. This is part of how they connect things to manipulate you more. They want you to have these dialogues, and now I'm like, oh, this is why you have this back and forth, the good guy, bad guy. Trash. I was like, this is why. Because they want to control you more. And to be able to manipulate you even more. I mean, the things they were saying now, I'm like, I feel so stupid. But what I feel the most stupid about is like when I was like, oh my gosh, I'm such a bad person. It's like, oh, I've done wrong. I'm realizing, what the hell? Now I'm praying for Courtney and Brittany. Please, I pray that they never be put in this program. Because this trash, I pretend that they're doing it for them. That this is a loophole for the justice. So I'm like, oh my goodness. Clowns. Torturing children. And now I'm here bringing awareness. Target individual, they are vilifying us. Do not go into that. I was naive. Now understanding that such thing could be like that. Do not even waste your energy. These people they are here doing the horrible things. And babies are being tortured. And they have the audacity, oh no. I was like, you understand what you're part of? You don't care about any of these women that you claim that you're doing it for. You don't care. You kill them. Sorry, you don't even kill them. If they're put in this program, you will see them as other test subjects, as guinea pigs. That's for you to take this opportunity to get the incentive you get out of partaking in that. You're just an opportunist who also then become this fierce femme fatale when it's convenient. In a program where they torture and destroy the life of so many women and children. Never. But I understand that was part of this thing. This is the facade. And sometimes they're like, oh, sorry, because I remember saying sorry to Brittany. Oh, we're so sorry. What? Sorry? Are you sorry about the woman being burnt in the genitals? Is that what you're sorry for? Or the woman who became homeless because she doesn't want to live in her apartment? Because it's radiation? Like, what are you sorry? For the mass shooting that killed 12 people or 18 people or whatever number? Is that what you're sorry for? You're sorry for destroying the life of this woman? Everything she worked so hard for, destroyed? Clown ass. these people, the way they try to normalize what they're part of, it's not, this psyop is over, this facade, this, imagine I'm involved in a program that is distracting so many, then try to, I cannot let these people live this fantasy. Target individual, speak up, and I hope that my video have opened the eyes of some target individual. Because there's so many, I'm so thankful to the testimonials. They try to vilify us. When they speak about Courtney and Brittany, do you know that when I start talking to this woman, Brittany, they're pretending they're doing it for, one got so frustrated, as if what I did was so wrong to talk to her. But what I did is to break this little fantasy that they were doing it for this woman, talking to her, living her life. I was like, hey, how's everything? Last time I talked to you, we were at this party. I hope you're doing well. I was like, yeah, I'm doing good. How about you? How's everything? Yeah, we're living best life. Nothing, not expecting nothing to her. Of course I do that. But I was like, I didn't. This perp gets so frustrated, she get out. She goes into the rooftop. You know, the escape rooftop thing? She goes up there. She goes on the computer like frustrated. Frustrated about what? That the facade is broken down. Can you imagine? That you're angry because you want in your mind to believe that you're doing this avenging thing, when in reality you're the opportunist, and this person that you're claiming that you're avenging is living the life of the normal life. I'm not a speck of anything to her. I've never done anything to even close to destroy her life or even impact her life. But in your mind, you're like, oh, we're just avenging. And then when I burst that bubble, it's just like, woo, fantasy, get out of there. Because reality just dawned on you that you are supposed to be target individual. I get emotional, like this kind of emotions, because can you imagine trying to paint this fantasy? I can't let them live that fantasy. So just to wrap this up, don't let this slow life vilifying you. Nobody's perfect, but please understand, if these people bringing up anything, it's because they're trying to paint you as such. They're not here to figure out who you are. Can you imagine being involved in these horrible things and vilify somebody else? And try to normalize what they're involved in? Never. To all my target individuals, stay strong.